Charles, the U.S. is constantly introducing sanctions against our civilian robots. Why do they do that? Do they suspect something?
The U.S. government clearly has certain suspicions, or at least concerns.
Yeah, it's their job to be concerned about their country's security. But they don't have any hard evidence. That means they don't really have a leg to stand on, right?
Indeed. That is precisely why Petrov caused the malfunction.
Right? He wanted to show the world that our Civibots have a combat mode, fine. But the Americans don't know that. So what are the sanctions for?
The American government is using the sanctions to find a middle ground between the needs of the capitalists and the growing discontent of the working class.
You mean American working stiffs want to get our bots banned because they're taking their factory jobs, and the capitalists want to get more free robots so they can get rid of all the workers once and for all?
Quite right. The American government is feeling pressure from both sides. So the sanctions remain moderate without banning robots entirely. They merely set quotas on importing them.
So why does the Soviet Union give a shit? Who cares if the Americans sanction us? They're the ones stopping themselves from getting rid of the working class. Well, good. We're all about the workers.
The more restrictions they place on the import and use of robots, the fewer of our robots will be located in key parts of the American government when collective launches.
So the Soviet government wants there to be as many of our civilian robots in the US as possible when they activate combat mode. That'll make it that much easier to take over the country. I gotta admit, it makes sense.
Atomic Heart Project, approved by the Secret Congress of the CPSU Central Committee on February 14, 1951. The goal is the suppression of the United States of America. Change of political regime, abolition of capitalism, establishment of communism, establishing social and moral ideals consistent with the beliefs of a Soviet person. The method of execution is the seizure of the strategic and military facilities, followed by disconnection and shutdown of nuclear power plants. Effective deactivation of the atomic heart of America, complete surrender of the government, and the transfer of power to the top leadership of the USSR.
So how are they gonna pull that off?
Well, Sergei, first they sell robots, then they simply give them away as aid. Once they reach critical mass, they take over all the power plants and cut off the power.
Greetings, honored members of the Politburo. I am pleased to inform you that the Atomic Heart Project is now complete and ready for launch. This is a top-secret project designed to crush the resistance of our class enemies in Western Europe, East Asia, and of course, North America. As you know, Facility 3826 has been a player on the capitalist market for many years now, providing a labor force, i.e. robots, to the entire world free of charge as a way to skirt sanctions. We have intentionally refused to sell some of our devices, such as Burabs and Condors, while pretending not to be interested in the others and accepting payment only for maintenance and repair. The distribution of these robots has already led to civil unrest due to growing unemployment in rival countries. But more importantly, it has also led to our devices being located in strategic targets, without exception, including nuclear power plants. In order to bring about the triumph of international socialism, we will activate our robots' hidden capabilities. After switching them to combat mode, we will capture rival countries' nuclear reactors and demand that power be handed over to the people. The borders of the Soviet Union will expand beneath the banner of a people's uprising. We will demonstrate the advantages of our ideology and disseminate it throughout the world. The Soviet Union will square its shoulders and direct mankind's gaze up to the stars. The Atomic Heart Project will be launched as soon as every citizen of our nation has been fully polymerized. Thank you for your time, comrades.
Flamethrower or laser gun.
I still don't get how we can control machines in America from the Soviet Union. It's not like hacking a hub in the facility.
Comrade Major, the polymers have the ability to transmit information among themselves without need for radio frequencies. No other transmitters are required, since the neuropolymer is itself a transmitter. Collective 2.0 will work the same way, but with the brains of ordinary users. An enormous social distance would be required to avoid control, but any undesirable outcasts will be caught by the robots.
Body in under 20 seconds.
I bet it'll be like how people control these monsters with that fucking gizmo there. The thought controller.
As I said earlier, thought is nothing but a trinket, a fake. The primary connector is the Jellyman, the neuropolymer, and only Sechenov has access to it. Only the Jellyman, a massive data array, can resonate with all polymerized objects and control them. And believe me, Comrade Major, a tremendous amount of polymer has been spread throughout the world over the last few years. Every machine and every human being on Earth will become part of Collective.
0.15 seconds.
So, to make a long story short, Sechenov is in charge of this polymer thingy, this Jellyman, and the Jellyman is gonna be in charge of everything that becomes part of the net.
Indeed.
Sounds like frickin' black magic or something.
The polymers have not been fully studied, nor has Collective. It is entirely possible that humans have created something greater than themselves. In fact, the electronic messages you have been reading at the pair terminals may very well have been specially selected for you by the neural network, or even created. We simply don't know, Major.
I don't like the sound of that.
It's no worse than a single man's drive to control more lives than just his own.